Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda and welcome to the age of Aquarius. Welcome to the beginning of a new era. So we are walking through the threshold into a new golden age. We are not quite there yet. However, this is the era that is transforming our world as we step through this threshold and really see the blueprint, anchor in the blueprint for an entire new era for humanity. This is truly the Pluto moving into Aquarius today is the biggest transit of our lifetime, and mass awakening is here. This is not just the biggest transit of our lifetime, it is the biggest transit for humanity in millennia. That's a bold statement, but it's true because what is happening right now on the planet has never really happened before. So buckle up because it's going to get interesting before it gets beautiful. And we're already in the midst of this massive collective upheaval. Oh, 111 on the timer. I wasn't even seeing that out of the corner of my eye. So we are in alignment with this higher timeline. So what I've been getting for the past couple weeks, exactly 2 weeks ago today, we had the US election. And with that, many people felt a timeline shift, a timeline jump even, if you will. Humanity chose, believe it or not, you can see my other videos though, humanity chose the higher timeline. This impacts not just the United States, but the entire globe, the entire global political sphere, theater, whatever you want to look at it as. This impacts everybody, and we made the higher choice. So there's a lot of nuance that goes into it. Clearly, many people were upset, but this is all, remember, in service to the greater collective awakening. So whether or not you like the individual who was elected, this is all ultimately in service for our collective greater good. So then we had the 1111 portal, and this very powerful full moon, this Taurus full moon in the midst of Scorpio season. So we had that balance of luxury and shadow work, self-care, and the need to dive deep. So Scorpio is the sign of alchemy, and we are still in Scorpio season as this transition of Pluto into Aquarius is happening. So this is big. These are big energies, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And we have been seeing disclosure after disclosure after disclosure. This is the era of disclosure. This is the era of transformation and alchemy. This is the era of transition into a new golden age. To get there, we have to release the old, right? So the last time Pluto changed signs was in 2008. Cue the financial crisis. The last time Pluto transitioned into Aquarius was 248 years ago. Cue the American Revolution. So this is both an evolutionary energy and a revolutionary energy that we are working with. And Pluto is a generational sign, so it is the evolution of humanity and society as we move through the generational energies, but it also governs our soul's evolution. As one of the outer planets, it really impacts this the bigger picture of our soul's evolution is kind of how I perceive it. So even though it is small, it is considered to be the most intense of all of the planets. It governs the underworld. It is that transformation, that death and rebirth energy. And it is, it governs dramatic change. And fundamentally, it's this really deep alchemical energy that it brings through. It also governs the hidden and the occult and, the inner depths. So this is a lot about power, and it also brings through this energy of destruction with that death. Before rebirth comes death, right? So it's death to the old so that the new can be reborn. But in the process, it gets worse before it gets better, right? Meanwhile, Aquarius brings through this kind of visionary energy. So Aquarius is the water bearer. It's an air sign, but it's this humanitarian, futurist, eccentric kind of energy, the forward thinker kind of energy. and it also governs technology. So with this change, with this transition, we are going to see a rise in a lot of technological innovation and a lot of technological revolution. And so we've got to anchor in to ourselves and to our spiritual essence, because there's a lot of spiritual evolution and awakening that comes with this transition as well. We are in the midst of the Great Awakening, of course. And with this energy, we have to balance. So the water bearer is, it shows that harmony and balance in the image of the symbol of the sign, the water bearer. And this is very much what I see is it does. So the water bearer makes you think it's going to be a water sign, but it's an air sign. So it's the balancing of the emotions and the intellect, of the intuition and the mind. So we've got to get that balance right for this to truly usher in the highest timeline for the greater good of humanity, because the shadow of what can happen with this technological innovation is the overtaking of AI. We do not want that to happen. We want to use the greatest potentiality that can come through technological innovation, but infuse that with a humanitarian ethos, and to bring our spiritual and divine feminine intuition and essence into how we are going to utilize and work with AI. Because if AI is created devoid of morality, devoid of the sense of spiritual essence, it is not going to serve our greatest good. We have seen all of those movies created already. We do not need to play out those movies that we know, those doomsday timelines where AI takes over. That's, something that we can focus our energy on and create, actually. But if we actually create the AI and the technology with this consciousness that is more evolved, that is more humanitarian and anchored in our spiritual organic essence, that can temper the potential fallout that can come from AI gone amok, or AI created without any sense of ethics or morality, which is what I see in a lot of the talking heads in our world. So this is one of the balance points that we have to really reconcile as we move forward. So we're going to see a rise in collective energy in coming together. So this is also a transition of power structures from top-down hierarchical models to we the people. So Capricorn was very much about the systems and structures, the hierarchy, and a lot of that top-down energy. Aquarius is quite the opposite. It's we, the people, stepping forward. And I really see this election as reflective of that, because if you just look at the energy behind the support of each of the candidates, you can see very clearly the distinction. We, the people, spoke on election day. Whether you agree or not, that was the energy of what was being put forward. They said no to what the legacy media was telling them. They said no to the establishment, the political establishment, which is very much embodied by the right, the left, definitely not the right. Well, in this case, it wasn't about left and right, because as we saw, there was kind of this more renegade energy coming through Trump. He ran, to be very clear, he ran as a Republican only because he knew that any other ticket he wouldn't get anywhere because of the dualistic structure of our political system. He didn't run because he's a Republican. He used to be a Democrat, as are many of the people who are on his team right now, like RFK. So we've got a lot of this kind of renegade revolutionary energy running through the people who are on his team, including Elon Musk. And, with all of that said, we the people said no to the establishment. We said no to the top-down hierarchy. We said no to the legacy media that was really perpetuating this singular narrative that didn't really resonate with people, because people were actually far more concerned with practicalities and specific policies that would impact their daily lives rather than identity politics, which was pushed down people's throats by the left. And people were like, sorry, no, that's not our biggest priority right now. And that doesn't make them, there's a lot of narratives that were simply not rooted in fact. There was a lot of divisive rhetoric that was put out there that was not rooted in truth, and people were seeing right through that as well. They said no to manipulation. They said no to the gaslighting and the propaganda. So with this, we're going to see a continued transition out of legacy media and toward independent journalism and independent voices, because people are recognizing, they're seeing through the facade. I just saw 111 again on the phone, on the timer. They're seeing through the facade of these specific narratives that are created by the top down. 1111, portal, threshold energy. We're done with that. We're ready to reclaim our power and our voices. So there is this drive for censorship. And so this is another aspect of the Aquarian age, is we are going to be reclaiming our individual power and our individual voices and coming together in our individual sovereignty to create a new earth, to create a better future for the greater good of all. So this is, very, very potent, powerful transformation energy once again. And what it is doing, it is bringing up the shadows. Perhaps you've been feeling the energy, especially in the days, between the full moon just a few days prior to today, November 19th, 2024, as I record this, Pluto formally moving into Aquarius. There was a lot of intense energies and just this kind of like boop, 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 but it's very fast. The energy has been moving rapidly. So, this is very much a buckle up and expect the unexpected kind of energy as well. That's what revolutionary energy is. And there's also a lot of other energies coming through, Uranus and Neptune and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of different aspects. And with all of that said, we're using one particular version of astrology as we, speak about this particular timeline. We live in a multidimensional reality. A lot of astrologers got the election predictions wrong, and we have to be really careful about using astrology in a predictive manner. It's more about understanding the energies and the archetypes that it represents. In my humble opinion, this is how I connect with astrology, not in terms of predicting the future or any kind of prophecy, but really to speak into the potentialities that are available, recognizing that we are constantly shifting timelines and that there are multi-dimensional aspects of our reality that are constantly shifting as humanity's collective consciousness rises as well. So a lot of people predicted a Kamala win, which is really interesting. And, there still could be a lot of shakeup with this energy before January 20th. However, it was a sweeping win. It wasn't just, down to the wire, nail bite kind of energy like we've had in the past couple elections. No, this was a sweeping win. And that is what surprised a lot of people. But this really speaks to the fact that the pundits were not on the pulse of the people. They were not paying attention to what really mattered. And that is the very essence and ethos of this Aquarian age energy. So what, I was tuning into an astrologer just before I went live, popped up on my YouTube, and I was just like, oh, let me hear what he has to say, because he did get it wrong. And what he had not factored in himself was this Pluto transition into Aquarius, which happened 2 weeks after the election. However, this energy has been working through us since January. It's just been back and forth, back and forth. It went direct in October and finally made its way back into Aquarius just today. However, this energy has been with us, and because it is a generational energy, we have been in the energy, even though it didn't happen until today. So I think a lot of people might have missed these evolutionary energies that have been working with humanity. And on top of that, we also have different astrology systems. And I don't have the expertise, number one, to like really dig into the nuances of the different systems yet. But we have galactic astrology as well, which is a different system. And I do wonder if we mapped out the different astrology systems and we really took that evolutionary perspective, if it would have been more readily, discernible through the energies, what would have happened in this election. It's just a point of curiosity that I have, because when we look at the galactic chart and we look at, there's like the Vedic astrology and the galactic astrology, there's different systems. So I see it as the ego and the soul. And because we're evolving out of the ego matrix and into the soul matrix, I do wonder if looking at it through that lens would have added a layer of nuance that would have lent us to better understand what would have happened with this election. I wasn't one of the ones trying to predict. I look at the energy from a much more broader perspective of the collective evolution that humanity is going through, which is why I actually appreciate Pluto so much, because this is an energy that I have actually connected with a lot because of just my personal path. And I just published my book, and I don't have it's right there actually, the clean copy. Let There Be Light, Liberating the Heart of Humanity to Create Heaven on Earth. So I do talk about the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in December 2020, and how that really triggered this awakening and this ascension process for so many on the winter solstice. And that what formed the foundation of this book, the Light and the Darkness series that I recorded back in December of 2020. And astrology plays a role, although it is not the primary focus of the book. It is not the primary focus of what I do. I think they're all tools. But I do have this niggle in me that is like, if we incorporated these different systems of understanding our world, we would probably have a much clearer understanding of what was happening. So, people's shadows are coming up to the surface right now very clearly, and this is a good thing as long as we grapple with the energies that are coming up and don't suppress and repress any longer, because that is the old way that was clearly not working for us anymore. So all of those skeletons in the closet, we're meant to be excavating that. So cue the collective dark night of the soul. We're ready for it. Those of us who have been on this path, the light workers, the healers, the starseeds, this is the time we came for. So yes, it's time to step up into your leadership energy. It's time to be the way shower for the people in your life who are going to need help. People are very much going to need help, but remember, this is for humanity's highest good. So what to expect, I'm going to grab the book in a moment, but before I grab it, what to expect in this energy of transformation and revolution. Actually, just let me grab the book now because I need a sip of water anyway, and then I'll get into that. Okay, so here's the cover, and that is our beautiful Mother Earth taken from an airplane with the sun at the top, and then I added some light codes onto it. So this book actually does help to navigate the journey. It was downloaded in a very specific structure, a 21-day journey that really has you going through the journey of diving into the darkness and, grappling with the shadows and diving into the psyche and all of that. So I get into a lot of different themes here. I anchor it into the collective shadows and what is happening from a galactic perspective, from an evolutionary astrology perspective. And, I just opened to this page. anchoring into heart wisdom. So liberating the heart of humanity to create a heaven on earth. Out of the head into the heart is the greater theme. But what is this journey also about is coming into inner union and wholeness, which is actually quite a tall order for humans who have been operating in separation. So I weave through my own healing journey that started with a cancer diagnosis. So how do we heal the body temple? How do we optimize the body temple? And then how do we actually navigate the inner healing? So I talk about all sorts of things. This is a primer and a guidebook, and I weave my own journey throughout it. So I am very proud of it, but I feel like it has the potential to help a lot of people. So if it resonates, it's available on Amazon in ebook and paperback as of right now. So it'll make a great gift for the holidays as well. So if that resonates, I so appreciate the support. I'll put the link down there, but you can also just hop on and find it. And going forward, I do intend to have it available elsewhere. I just haven't gotten there yet. It was published on 11/11, of course. Divine guidance really helped me get this out there in this particular timing, by the way. So what else to expect in this energy of transformation and revolution? Oh my goodness, I just saw 2111 on the timer. So many ones. So this is really about coming into deep alignment. So we're going to see an ongoing dismantling of the hierarchical structures, the old systems and structures that we saw with that Capricorn energy that really began with Pluto moving into Capricorn in 2008 with the financial crisis. The shadows of the banking system, the financial system that is not working for humanity came to the surface, 2144. And it is time to rebuild new systems and structures that work for humanity. But to do that, the old still has to be dismantled and crumble. And actually in chapter 13, I get into all of the old systems and structures, healthcare, education, so on and so forth. So again, with this energy, collective awakening and evolution. So this is a beautiful time to really just go within and to anchor that light of truth into your heart space. Radical social and political change, we're already seeing that. Liberation from the outdated system structures, patterns, and beliefs. So this is, again, both internal and collective. We're going to see a rise in community and communitarian ethos and this strive for connection, both technological and, internal. Internal connection is actually the foundation, connection with self and a greater, higher good, a higher guiding force, rather. Mercury retrograde shadow is with us, by the way. Mercury is going retrograde the end of the month, so we've got a lot of energies working with us right now. But this connection energy. So we're going to see a rise in telepathy, but also this connection with community, soul tribe coming through, and this great pull for authenticity and freedom of expression. So there has been a lot of throat chakra clearing and activation energies coming through, and also this this deeper understanding that authenticity is the most powerful vibration, more powerful even than love. And I talk about heart coherence in the book as well, but because we have to move through love to get to that authentic truth, because authenticity is born from being anchored in love. So it's a very powerful vibration to operate in. Technological innovation and advancement, as I've said, heightened spirituality and a sense of connection with something greater than us, that we are connected with the one, with the all, we the people, unity consciousness. So this is going to really propel us forward into that golden age energy of unity consciousness, which is one and the same as Christ consciousness. So when we talk about Christ consciousness, it really is that inner union manifesting without as outer union, that is unity consciousness, the way I perceive it. So then we also have, again, with the water bear energy in an air sign, the balancing of emotions, the water, and intellect, the air. So this is that balancing of the mind and the heart. So this is that harmony energy that we have really been working on an internal level, so that we can create it without, as within, so without, as above, so below. So we anchor in those higher frequencies of truth through our body vessel to become that emanation of what we wish to see, be the change, right? So all of these humanitarian ethos are coming together, bridging with these spiritual teachings. So it's really beautiful to be seeing everything come together. And that's what this energy is about. It's this union, balance, harmony energy that is really weaving through everything as we step forward into this new golden era. So Aquarius is also symbolized by the star card in the tarot. So the star card is about renewal. So even though a lot of the collective shadows are going to be, just coming up to the fore, we have this hope energy coming through. And, when we have the appropriate tools and everything to support us, it can be a profoundly healing and uplifting energy to work with. So this is really, ultimately, this whole energy is about bringing the power back to the people, bringing harmony to the world, and transferring it to we the people. So this energy will be with us through March of 2043. So a full generation, nearly 20 years. So buckle up and get right with yourself, because this is our time and this is what we came for. This is why we are here this time right now. So if you wish to be the change you wish to see in the world, I do highly recommend my book. This book was written for this time. It actually came through, as I said, in December 2020. I tried to get it out there in 2022, 2023, and it was meant for now, right now, because people are ready for it. So this, if you've been on the journey, this really ties together a lot of pieces. It weaves together a lot of pieces, and it incorporates my journey if you're interested in that. But I do, of course, bring in a lot of tips and tools and practices. And for people who are just beginning their journey, who are just starting to awaken or aren't really sure what's going on in the world, this could make a beautiful gift as well. And it could really help people anchor into the greater shifts that we're experiencing with the collective shift in consciousness. So again, ebook, paperback available. And if you're interested in one-on-one sessions, I currently have some open. So I will link everything in the description. One-on-one intuitive soul guidance sessions. And I do have oracle cards that I use. Sometimes I use them in the readings. I want to end this one for now anyway. And I'll probably do a card reading in the next couple days about these energies. And then, and I have some memberships, and my expansion membership includes weekly calls and access to everything I've ever created, and it is currently on a beautiful deal to celebrate the relaunch and the launch of my book. So I have basically upgraded the back end for everything, and it's very, very accessible right now, and it has all of the tools of my expansion journey, which is that healing back to wholeness, journey into self-mastery, rebirth into radiance energy, all in one. But it really is a practical step-by-step with all the tools you need to really be rebirthed into the most brilliant diamond version of yourself. So if that resonates, I will have all of the links below, and if you get your copy, I would so appreciate a review as well, so more people can find it and benefit. And I also like, subscribes, comments. I would love to hear how you're doing in these energies. I always love to hear how this resonates with where you're at, and how you're feeling into everything. And if this resonates, I hope to see you again, onward and upward. Thank you to all who have been here, and I will see you again soon.